Hi friends, Andromeda of Earth here. Happy full moon. We have a full moon in Virgo, in Pisces season, right? We've got that Virgo Pisces polarity being highlighted right now. What's your relationship to Virgo? What house is it in for you? How about Pisces? How does that energy feel? How are you feeling? You may hear some noises in the background. That's the baby and my husband Isaac. Ryder has so much fun in the bath. Yeah, we're gonna do some tarot. I had no idea what I wanted to do, so just a few minutes ago I decided to scroll back through my Patreon and look for a full moon reading that felt good or appropriate. And I scrolled upon the full moon spread by Ethany. Very simple. I'm loving the simplicity right now. 4 cards. And Wolfe was just like, take me out, accuse me, me, I want to play. Okay. No problem. No argument here. By the way, Serpentfire Devaney is having a sale right now. Check out their Instagram for the code. They're working on an oracle deck, Celestial Bodies, that's very all-encompassing and broad. I'm very much looking forward to learning what the author's perspectives on the numerology and the energies of the celestial bodies and the houses. It's very exciting. I want to line up my cards, so like, this is my sun, this is whatever house it's in, and the zodiac direction, put it all out there and look at it, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So anyway, Serpentfire is definitely a huge inspiration for lots of people. So this full moon spread is what is known, what is hidden, where to focus and drop the illusion. So we welcome any and only benevolent beings to this space. Any ancients, any guides, ascended masters, any angels who are of divine will and universal law are welcome here. All others are banished. The last time I used this deck, the Page of Wands popped out. No, it didn't pop out. It was part of the spread. It was, I think, the Grow, part of our no-show Grow weekly spread. And it was interesting because we had the King and then the Queen and then the Page. And you could look at it as a sort of devolution, but becoming more childlike to me is not a devolving process. It's, to me, a more evolved because of the brilliant state of curiosity and imagination that children have. If we were all to stay in that state, I believe that we would all discover a lot more all the time. So, a fun little reminder, apparently, for us. What information do we need to know? For this full moon energy. Man, these cards are just flipping out. Although they're face down, these last two, so these messages are not for us. The cards just didn't want to be in that order. The card was like, get me away from that other one. I know I anthropomorphize a lot of things. Yet I believe that a lot of things have consciousness, even though humanity has yet to realize what they realize. What information is appropriate for this full moon in Virgo? A quick shout out to my friend Kristen. She made these ethically sourced sunset moth earrings. I'm just totally in love. They're beautiful. Thank you. This is where we were at. Okay. What is known? I think we also had this one out the last time we had this deck. The Wheel of Mars. So this is this deck's Tower card. So we know things are changing. You know, we see the temple. We see everything with that all-seeing eye. All of our senses are being activated. Or they can be activated. It's funny, when I was talking about how I anthropomorphize things, I wanted to talk about how Isaac and I have a theory that the more senses that you interact with a thing, the more alive the thing becomes. So we start from the beginning, the root chakra, and you smell it. You can smell it. It has life. If you can taste it, it has a little bit more life, right? If you can see it, it adds a little bit of more life to it. If you can feel it, right, it becomes more alive to you, right? If you can hear it, you can listen to it, you can understand and feel the vibrations it's putting out, it becomes more alive. If you can connect to it on an intuitive level, right, you would have no doubt, because then you're just up to consciousness, up to their consciousness and your consciousness, and realize that they're one. So whenever I see the all-seeing eye, I'm reminded of all of our senses interacting with all of them. This building is burning. Like I said, things are changing. The way, the structures that we inhabit will not be here forever. They may not even be here throughout our lifetime. So that means opportunity. We can build the structures that we would like to see. If not you, then who else? If we know transformation is imminent, why not direct the course? Yeah, it's scary. It's scary because breaking things down, we have that potential for loss. But when we have, and what we have is not satisfactory, well then, once again, why not? What's the point of holding on to something that's just not working, just for fear of the unknown? The point is that we want to lose what we have because it's not working. We're not taught that. We're not taught letting go. So we can teach ourselves. It's known. This is known. We knew this. What's hidden? Page of Cups. Let's see if I can get her in focus. Oh, come on, baby. So we have, interestingly, 6 women here, or 6 beings, all looking sort of in reverence to, I wanted to say the moon, but I don't think it's the moon. Is that Venus there? We got a pyramid and the Ankh, all looking at this celestial body. I'm gonna look and see, just to make sure. I feel like that planet is really important. Yeah, Venus. It is Venus. And that Devani uses this card to represent the planet Venus. Now, I believe this deck is based off Thoth. So if you're interested as to how they made the association between Page of Cups and Venus, definitely check out the Thoth style tarot decks. And that makes sense for these imageries because of the Egyptian style to it. When I think of an Ankh, I think of how in Tantra we bring our energy up to our heart and allow it to circulate and back to our heart and out and everywhere, like the shape of the Ankh. Major symbol for infinitely sourced power. So the keys for this is inner self, strength, beginnings, exploration, and sensitivity. So being hidden, we have a sense of not knowing where we're gonna start, how to begin, where our sense of personal power comes from. But the Ankh teaches us that it's here, is where it all meets and where everything comes together. Venus is all about how things relate to each other. A very typical way to think about Venus is all those things that give us pleasure. And it's basically just being aware of whatever the continuum is for you, what the stimuli that we crave versus the stimuli that is noxious to you. And Cups, we are in the realm of emotion. page energy, childlike energy. With the pyramid there, I'm reminded of being aware of what our foundation is like. Making sure that is solid first, because that comes first. In order to have the Ankh, we have to have that solid foundation underneath it. Oh, it wanted to focus. It really did. It did focus for like a split second. Which I think says to me that we're onto something, you know. It's coming more into focus what this energy is about. What does the number 6 mean to you? How about the number 3? Both of them are represented here. On top of the card is a very purpley, pinky color. It might be hard to see because of the way this light is just really harsh. But it really does remind me of the energy that is on the top of our chakra system, being the violet, white, swirling, infinite kind of energy. On the bottom here we have orange. So to me it's very much talking about our creative and our sexual energy being also the basis for our exploration. Or it can be, if we want to look at it, if we want to peek at what is hidden. So where to focus? Very fun. Page of Swords. Oh, almost in focus right away. Now, so fun to me because this tells us, it says to me that we've gotten 3 of the 4 pages in this reading so far. So Page of Swords. So that same childlike, exploratory energy, but in regards to our mental realm. This person appears to have 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 5 different versions of them, kind of all laying on top of each other. They've only they've got wings on. Black wings, and they're sort of like tucked up, but it looks sort of like they're sleeping. Like they haven't been woken up yet. Are they hibernating? I don't know. So it says Venus in air signs. Keywords for this would be impulsive, selfish, grave, and challenging. Okay, so in the realm of where to focus. We need to focus on ourselves. We need to focus on 5 being how we want to change, how things are changing, are evolving. We need to focus on our rest, allowing things to fall into place without forcing our hand. You know, their wings are relaxed, They're just laying there, waiting for that appropriate time to get up and move. They don't necessarily look really happy, but I think that might be because when things are new to us, sometimes we don't know what to do yet with the information. Sometimes it is important for us to rest and be a little selfish and figure things out before we just simply act. So we don't react, so we're not being too forceful about what it is we perceive the world needs to be. Focus on the different colors of you. If you had 5 different versions of yourself, what would they be characterized as? Honor them. Drop the illusion. And 5 of Cups. I don't know if you can recognize that image. That's me. It's the first time I've gotten this card during one of our readings for Patreon. Knew it was going to happen eventually. So to me, when I receive this card, I tend to think about myself, obviously, you know, and maybe I can think about it as in perspective of this prompt of drop the illusion of who we think we are. Well, she is in the desert. She's like following the snake, which is so funny to me because I'm wearing my Slytherin shirt. A traditional 5 of Cups is like disappointment, another like grief and sadness kind of energy. But to me, I see it as an opportunity for picking ourselves up. We're moving towards the light, being an active participant in our journey, in our experiences. What is your relationship to snake energy? If you were in the desert, you saw a snake and it talked to you, what would you do? Would you follow it? Feeling very drawn to her writing. It says Mars and Scorpio. So the keys in this card are disillusionment, disappointment, deception, and crisis. Are there things that we've seen or not seen that have sort of shattered our perspective? of what reality is. We really get to choose whether we want to hold on to what was shattered, attempt to glue it back together. That's an option. And make sure you pick up all the pieces so you have a complete being afterwards, right? And that takes a lot of focus and energy, and it totally may be worth it. But maybe those pieces were meant to have separate journeys. That's what I think about when crystals break or shatter. They need us to drop them, crystals, because otherwise it would take them years and years and years for them to split apart on their own. When we are in crisis, we don't have to put on or play out the typical mentality of panic. We can choose to see that experience for what it is. It is sort of like at the end of the level in video games, you have like the big boss fight. How do you act when that happens? You know, is that when your palms get all sweaty and you know, we start to project ourselves into the future or the past? Do we get excited? Is that when the adrenaline really starts to rush? Is that curious? We don't have to be so offended at other people's experiences. We could, it's an option to accept them for what's going on. You know, drop the illusion of any sort of storytelling. Some things just are. Maybe the snake is just there. Yeah, that's not good or bad. They're most likely a sign, an omen to either listen to or not. Free will. I thoroughly believe in that. Or a shadow. Interesting. Our shadow, the Three of Swords. So this person is trapped in a box. It almost seems like they've sort of put themselves there. And I say that because there doesn't appear to be any walls. And they're sort of like shrinking down to fit in this box that they've created and put themselves in. This box is sitting on top of a black and white swirling void. So there really is all potentials, all polarities. Everything is here. But we are experiencing difficulty to see it, being in our shadow space. Saturn in Libra. The keys here are painful realization, sadness, and isolation due to intellect. How they know everything. And sometimes knowing and seeing all sides can be very paralyzing. Maybe allow yourself to really not know. That might allow you to simply see what's happening, but step out of any sort of limiting beliefs. Our pain and our sadness can be very difficult to look at for obvious reasons. You know, when you're having a hard time and someone reaches out, and if you're not ready to feel better yet, that extension of friendship and a hand and an opportunity to feel better, that doesn't feel right. And you want to walk away from it, and that is completely okay. Stay inside of the box as long as you need. You'll come out when you're ready. When it's time to really look at that isolation, you'll look at it and truly be able to see that you're not alone, that many others feel that same isolation, and our connections go far deeper than what we believe mentally. It doesn't matter. Our sadness, our grief, our seeming isolation, we're still connected to everyone. What a blessing. You're never alone. Thank you so much for being here, spending this time with me today. I will have this part 1 up on Patreon as soon as possible, and part 2 with journal prompts, an altar with energy work and Reiki, crystal grid, as well as symbolism to explore the things, the things that we talked about today and the things that come out intuitively when I create the altar. Those are all messages, and I write them out so that it's pretty clear. We receive so much input every day, all day, and sometimes it can be challenging to filter and really focus. So that's why I do it. Kind of help us to hone in on something and focus. And also receive the message clearly, because if we receive too much information, we just start to drone it all out. That's how our brains work. So with all the stimuli we receive all day, the music and the screens and people, everything, simplifying, not necessarily looking at the whole. Maybe just taking some time to look at ourselves. Yeah. We'll see you folks soon.